Hello, my name is David Urrows, or David Francis Urrows, as I appear in my publications. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today while I tell you something about my music and myself. In the 1990s, Paraclete Press published two of my works, a unison anthem, O Thou That Art of Purer Eyes, which did very well, and another more challenging work for mixed voices, soprano, solo, and organ called An Hymn of Heavenly Beauty to words by Edmund Spenser. That anthem offers a lot of opportunities for the soloist, the choir, and the organist, and should get more performances in my opinion. After these works were published, my life as a university professor drew me more and more into musicology and critical editing. Over the next 20 years, I worked on two large-scale projects, my critical edition of the music of German-American composer Otto Dresel, and my history of the pipe organ in China, published in 2017 as Keys to the Kingdom by the Catholic University of Leuven, Belgium. Of course, I composed music during this time, including several large-scale choral works. Among these, I'd like to mention my oratorio, The Martyrdom of St. Cecilia, which had its first performance in 2016, given by the Hong Kong Bach Choir and Orchestra. I spent almost 30 years in Hong Kong teaching at HKBU and the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts. In 2018, I was retired from the faculty, and I now live in Manila. I've continued my historical research, but I've also started to realize my plan to make composition again a greater part of my activity. If you have heard or performed either of my choral works published by Paraclete, or most of my other compositions, then you know that my music is rooted in an eclectic tradition of 20th century American composition. My teacher, Randall Thompson, once wrote that if a piece of music is too difficult for amateurs to sing, the chances are that it is not good enough. Well, we may have come some way since he wrote that in 1959, but his point was that craftsmanship has to come before everything else, and that a composer has to take the realities of his or her performers into account while composing. I often say that my goal, if I have one, is communication and not frustration. What am I working on now? Well, behind me on the keyboard is my reconstructed edition of Louis Lambilotte's Mass in the Gregorian Mode in Mode 5. This was composed about 1850. Only the two upper parts survive, the rest and the organ accompaniment have disappeared, but it's a lovely setting of the ordinary and deserves to be revived. I'm also working on an original choral work to mark the 500th anniversary of the death of Ferdinand Magellan, the Portuguese explorer, and this will occur next year in 2021. This work is for mixed voices and piano, and perhaps I'll plan a chamber orchestra accompaniment of the piano part as well. Magellan died here in the Philippines, by the way, down in Cebu, in a skirmish that he might have been better off avoiding. I was also asked to mention little-known facts about myself, but just about everything about me is little known. I was born in Hawaii before it was a state. More to the point, almost all of my music up until now has been composed on commission. It's nice to be at a point in my life where I have more flexibility in this regard, and I think that will have to do for today. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you enjoy looking into my compositions, choral and otherwise. Goodbye for now, and may God bless you.